There really is so much to praise about this ongoing miniseries. I keep having X-Men fans, comment on posts, send me messages, and just tell me how excited they are about this run now that Hickman's taken over the reins. And I couldn't agree more. I'm right there with you on this. Just like Hickman even mentioned in his last interview at San Diego Comic-Con, he said how important it is for him that he engages the reader's attention in serial writing format, which is so lacking from modern comics. This specific issue, it makes it very clear, just like before with all the others, that with every ending to each week's book, we are going to continue to have more dramatic reveals, leading to more questions and more intrigue. So this is the first issue of Powers of 10 that stays in the confines of one timeline. This is set 100 years in the future. Essentially, this issue picks up directly where Powers of 10 number 2 left off last week. We have Jonathan Hickman writing, as usual, R.B. Silva, pencils and inks, Marte Gracia on colors, Clayton Cowles on letters, and Tom Muller on design. So today's issue begins at year 100, like I said. This is a creepy long diatribe by a priest. Apparently, the new human religion is to worship these AI machines, Nimrod and his minions, and we see a baby getting baptized with augmented technology. They are, all of the humans, they're relinquishing their autonomy. They're declaring themselves and all other humans absolutely nothing but slaves. So right after that, you get, one of these Hickman graphs that he's been showing us. And this one actually reveals the identity of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen for this specific timeline. So this is actually a picture of them. This is from Powers of 10 number 1, and this is all 4 of the horsemen of the Apocalypse. We have Wolverine as War. And this actually is the original Wolverine. This is James Howlett, and that's revealed, like I said, in that graph. We have Zorn as Death, and that's really fitting. He's a nihilist, and he seems to actually thirst for the end of his self-proclaimed pointless life consistently in his dialogue, and we see more of that coming up, of course. Pestilence is North. So North is an interesting character here, cloned from the genes of Emma Frost and Lorna Dane. So look, the suit that he's wearing is actually paying homage to Lorna's green hair, but also to her father, Magneto. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's a green Magneto? I don't know, but it's cool. His name is North. So Famine is the sentient mutant island Krakoa itself, right? Living inside of the body of Cypher as a symbiote. And that's fascinating. I think that's a really cool deal. And, he's able to open up these gateways back to the island because, well, he's actually the island. So we get a scene where Nimrod is, I guess he's being Nimrod and not caring at all that all of these human slaves and their religion, their whole temple is on fire, and from his own words, he can't be bothered with man, right? So his disciple speeds out to confront who she believes are the mutants that are going to attack the humans, right? And this is awesome. We get a really great scene with Cardinal, right? So he looks like he would be Nightcrawler from Nightcrawler's clone DNA. There was another graph there as well that actually says so much, He says this. I love this so much. He says, I'm a pacifist who's been pushed to the brink. But even for those like me, there comes a time when a point must be made. So today, I ate a terminal apocalypse seed to overcome my genetic predisposition to nonviolence. I'd choose my end over yours any day. And man, with that, it's actually shown to us that all of this is a suicide mission, Zorn confirms that this is their final stand against Nimrod, saying that he has wanted so long for sweet annihilation. And man, how much do I love Zorn's character? I mean, pure nihilism. He even says that he's a nihilist in this specific issue. And, you know, like I said, this is their last stand. You know, he's maintaining this perspective that life is only about biological imperatives. You know, he sees things failing to understand that, well, from my perspective, life is, it's precious to find our own purpose and define what that is from our own experience. You know, the clearer that we are about our purpose in life, I don't know, the further our perspective should shift away from deathism. You know, Zorn's lust for death that you see here. I love this characterization. In short, that's just me saying, Hickman's doing a great job with these characters, you know, and he's making it deeper with this issue. I see a lot more deeper characterization than the previous ones, which is really good because, yes, it is time to develop these characters further, take some emphasis off of that world building that he's so fantastic at. So this issue seems to be a snapshot in time, right? This is a very small piece of this massive introductory story that Hickman's telling here. They're specifically out to find the exact moment that Nimrod comes online. And this is what I think. An advantage that they have here is that Nimrod doesn't know what their secret weapon is. And if they end up succeeding overall, stopping Nimrod, it will likely be his overconfidence that shoots him in the foot because, like I said, Nimrod does not take into account that Moira's powers even exist, that they all would give up their lives for not just their cause, but to prevent the Sentinel War, which, of course, means stopping Nimrod before he's even born. So Rasputin removes Zorn's mask here, revealing the singularity of a black hole that was underneath, likely killing absolutely everyone in radius. Like I said, absolute annihilation apparently is necessary to begin again. And so the ultimate sacrifice is made in the hope for, you know, their long-term and ambitious goals. Apocalypse also sacrifices himself here, allowing Wolverine to escape back to the island of Krakoa, where it's revealed that Moira has been in stasis because of her prior injuries sustained. And their entire plan was apparently leading them up to this moment, this one necessary step, getting the Nimrod intel and allowing Moira to absorb that information so she can remember it for the future. And in a dramatic conclusion, Wolverine stabs Moira right in the gut with the caption, "So ended the 9th life of Moira X." So, if you're like me, up until this point, you've been making an assumption in reading these books, the Powers of 10 books, specifically these first 3, that it's been telling the tale of Moira's 10th life on Earth. But just with that very last ending, it's revealed that these first 3 issues are an account of Moira's 9th life. And things begin to make a lot more sense and make me feel a lot better about this series as we go. Check this out. So the manner in which it was revealed, that was spot on, specifically from writing with a good serial format. Like I mentioned before, serial format is containing one issue within itself, leaving it on a cliffhanger, ending a portion of the storyline to continue and ask more questions in the future. And each issue like this will feel like it has its own theme, so to speak, like it has its own answers, like it raises its own questions. That's exactly what serial format is. And, you know, in any other case, without that big oomph, without that big ending like we saw, that big reveal, this might have felt like somewhat of a filler issue, but it ended with such a surprise that it was just as captivating as even the last 4 issues because of that reveal at the end, right? That's what great serial format does. It answers questions throughout in such a way that it really keeps readers captivated for every single issue, wanting more. So this is the first series that I've read in years that is just as exciting to pick up and enjoy every single issue as the last. So the issue closes with a very fitting quote from Apocalypse. He says, "And should forever end, let me die in battle, surrounded by my fallen enemies and with blood on my sword." I like that a lot. It's like I said before, this isn't just impressive, it's inspiring writing. This is the kind of thoughtful and engaging, long-term, well-thought-out story sculpting that is sorely missing from the majority of modern comic books. You know, with the most recent policy of comic companies, specifically Marvel, their policy is flood the shelves with titles. It doesn't seem like they really care much if they're good, they just flood the shelves. Now here's the great thing about what they've done. They have given Hickman the reins to this entire series to do what he wants with it, and he's doing what he wants with it. He's writing an actually good, compelling series. We are here on the 5th issue. This is just the fifth issue of this mini-series. We are not even halfway through, and already in my mind, I have this idea, this notion that this series is going to continue in a very, very good way. He's going to continue to keep it really good. He's going to continue to push that envelope to keep readers engaged, to just hold us right there at our attention, and he's going to show us some really great new things as far as the X-Men are concerned. I like a lot of his dialogue that he's putting together. It feels like, at times, specifically with this issue, with the more characterization that he's given to it, that Hickman's putting into it, it feels, some of his dialogue actually feels like Claremont at times. And, oof, I love that. I love the classic Claremont series, of course. It's one of my very favorites. So I just wanted to let you know, a little while back after the first issue or so, I decoded that code that Hickman created for these issues here for the X-Men. But I didn't make a graph of it. I did it all on paper, just writing, and it looks like someone actually finally created a digital graph. So I'm going to link that down below in the description so you can check it out and, do some, it's kind of like a key to the code. So as you read, you can keep this on your desktop and look at the books and decode it yourself if you want. That's been some of the fun in this book for me. But look, I'd love to hear what everyone says about all of this. Do you disagree with me? Are you enjoying the series? Are you reading it yet? If you are not, you probably should if you love the X-Men. To be honest, this is probably the biggest thing to happen in comic books in about 5 to 10 years. Again, that's all opinion, but this series is spectacular. Again, I'm not a shill, but I may be turning over to Hickman becoming my favorite writer. He's definitely in my top 5 right now. I'd love to hear what y'all think. What do you think about Hickman? What do you think about this run? How did you like this ending today? Wasn't that great that we found out, Moira has at least one life yet? Thank goodness, because look, I was looking at this and I was saying, oh, is all of this happening? He just killed her on her 10th life, and then right below it I read, oh, well, this is her 9th. Fantastic. So this is setting the stage for this new series that's going to be coming out, The Dawn of X. I guess there's going to be 6 titles after that. I'm not going to be able to read all of them, but I'm definitely following the main storyline. Like I always say, my name's Chase. Hit like and subscribe. I'd love for you to join me on all my next videos, and you are the gateway into comics.